Hey, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. Welcome to the Business Combo Marketing Podcast. As a business owner, you've likely seen a lot of marketing campaigns, some of them that's worked very well, while others may have not worked so well. So the question is, how do you decipher between the ones that have worked very well compared to those that have not worked so well? Well, this podcast will answer those questions for you. And specifically, will help you to decipher the ones that have been successful, why are they successful, and pull out those exact elements from those marketing campaigns and that information over to you so that way you can implement it in your business and start getting results as soon as possible. Welcome aboard and let's go. Hi there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop in an audio from a video I recorded from inside of the group that I've talked about in a previous episode, Sales Funnel for Entrepreneurs. If you're not already in that group, I highly suggest that you go and suggest to join that group. It is a Facebook group. The most recent post that I did via video inside of that group is relating to marketing funnels, obviously, and it's a very important first step as it relates to building and starting to build your marketing funnel asset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the audio version of that video recording inside of this podcast, and that's going to be the podcast episode. Once again, if you're not already part of that group, I highly suggest that you become part of that group because you can engage with other members. You can ask me questions, and it's just a better way. It just gives you a better experience as it relates to some of the things that I'm going to be doing going forward. And plus, I'm going to be doing some visual aspects as well. So, hey, have a listen, and I'll see you soon. Vladimir Donis here. Now, this is my first time going live using this new device. So I have no idea if this thing is going to go well. I have no idea if it's going to kind of just bomb. But at any rate, I want to kind of just jump on and talk about a very important first step as it relates to connecting with your audience, as it relates to building a marketing funnel. Now, a marketing funnel can be an asset for you. It can be an asset that you can use for a very, very long time. So essentially, what I wanted to kind of just talk to you about is that connecting content. Connecting content is very important because sometimes there are certain things you can do from a quick win standpoint, but man, content can definitely help you win. So let me tell you my specific experience as it relates to that. Now, this stuff that I'm going to be talking to you about, it kind of came to me as a surprise, to be honest with you. As some of you may already know, one of the markets that I've wrote content for was the dating market. Now, the dating market is extremely competitive. It's a very competitive market, so to speak. There's a lot of companies. Every time I look up, to be honest with you, there's more companies. Now, that was one of my first projects, and that project is an abandoned project. That's not necessarily a project that I continue to work on because I decided to kind of go into a different direction. But many, many moons ago, someone told me about the importance of creating content. So I thought to myself, okay, let me take a search engine optimization course and let me see what this search engine optimization course can do for me. So I took a search engine optimization course and I wrote a piece of content about 6 months ago. And guess what? As of today, that content is number one on Google for that specific keyword. Now, I am surprised because I know I didn't do everything that I should have done to optimize that specific keyword. But yet, people are finding this specific article and they're contacting me as a result of this article. All right? So please, hear this again. I wrote a piece of content which can be an asset in this specific instance. I wrote it about 5 or 6 months ago, and now today I am reaping the benefits of something that I did 5 months ago. It is not a quick fix. No, I'm not suggesting that it's a quick fix. However, it is something that can continue to benefit you over and over and over and over again. Now, in this specific instance, for this specific product, I wrote a content for the purpose. My goal for the content was to drive people to sign up for the dating website. And can you guess what happened to me not too long ago, a couple of days ago? A couple of days ago, I got a messenger message via Facebook, And this young lady sent me a message and said, hey, I found your article via Google, your article about dating and dating Caribbean men, and I would like your advice. And I started to think to myself, wait a second, the purpose of that specific content was not for people to call me. I wrote that content. Let me look at my call to action, just to be more specific. In fact, you know what? I don't even think I had a call to action on this content. I basically wrote the content just to try to get some traction. Or you know what? I did have a call to action. My call to action for that specific content was I asked them to discover how to find a perfect dance partner, spark their interest, and build a lasting connection. And I gave them a free download, a free guide. So that is what the call to action was at the end of that piece of at the end of that piece of content. But guess what though? Because I wrote that content, because my name is attached to that content, this person went out of her way, right? Looked me up, did a Google search on me. These are her words. And then after she did the Google search on me, she did a Facebook search on me, and then sent me a message to ask me for advice, right? Now think about this. Now, if you're writing content for a dating site, in my specific instance, what you want the audience to do, what you want the individuals to do, is you want them to go and sign up for the dating website. The goal is not for them to call you. You don't want them to call you because that's not the business that you're in. But because I wrote that piece of content, because my name is attached to it, I'm automatically seen as an authority in that specific space. And that individual took the time out of her day, reached out to me and asked me for advice on an individual that she's talking to right now, right? I had about a 45-minute conversation with this individual that found my article via Google, right? An article that I wrote 5 to 6 months ago in a space that is extremely, extremely competitive. Like, man, how did that happen? I'm surprised, and I didn't expect it. But I'm coming on here tonight to tell you this, to tell you that connecting content is a very important part of your marketing efforts. I know that it's not sexy. I know that it's not something that's going to give you a quick win right away, so to speak. And I know that in this group, and then via some of the audience that I speak to, some of you guys, you don't own the company in which you work for. Some of you may work based on commission. Some of you may have different, maybe network marketing. That doesn't matter. I think I've spoke about this via my podcast before. That doesn't matter because what you're doing is you're building some type of authority to you, right? Not the company. This article that I wrote, that individual contacted me because my name was attached to it. So if you build a blog and you build some type of a content, they're going to contact you. So, you know, I say that to say, you know, you need to start producing content. Now, content can be in many different forms. It could be audio form. It could be this Facebook Live that I'm doing with you right now. It will be repurposed, right? So I'm going to put this on my podcast. I'm also going to put it on other networks. So this is an audio form of content. This content is going to go out to different networks. And guess what? People are going to hear it, people are going to find it, and people are going to be attracted back to me. I can write an article. If I write an article, people are going to be searching for the thing that I'm talking about. They're going to find me. They're going to come to me, right? And the more you do that, all right, the more authority you build and the more traction you build, right? So for this dating product, once again, this is a dating product that I don't even focus on anymore. I wrote a handful of articles, and as I wrote those handful of articles, I'm reaping the benefits of those articles right now. Another thing that happened that I didn't mention to you was that about 2 weeks ago, another young lady, again, reached out to me. And in this specific instance, this person is part of a movie cast, I want to say. And as part of the movie, they want to incorporate Caribbean dancing. And since the website was about dating and dancing, they reached out to me to see if I can find someone for them that can play that role. That's not really 100% the business that I'm in, but because I wrote that article not too long ago, people are finding it and people are kind of just coming to me, right? I'm not necessarily reaching out to them, they're reaching out to me. So there's a lot of power in producing content and just putting that content out there. You're not going to get results right away, but over time, that's one of the things that's going to build you some traction. So let me just kind of just look at some of the elements that I covered just for just for conversation purposes when I did this article. So when I did this article, I had a keyword in the URL. I had the keyword multiple times on the page, and I also, you know what? My call to action was kind of weak. Now that I look at it, it was a weak call to action. It's like, hey, download this free guide. I could have said a little bit much, but yeah, it was a simple article. It took me maybe about 30 to 45 minutes to write, and I put it out there on Google. Not Google. I put it out there on my blog, and now there it is. It's getting traction. All right, so you can do the same. If you're listening to this, you can do the same thing. It doesn't have to be via writing. It could be via video. It could be via audio as well. Okay. So I think I was just kind of looking at my notes. The last thing I wanted to talk about is, yes, you can go for short wins. There's some things that you can do that will give you immediate wins, and those things will give you wins right away. But at the same time, you also want to do things that's going to give you wins from a long term standpoint. And this is one of the things that I advocate. And if we're talking about sales funnel, if we're talking about building marketing assets, I wouldn't be doing you a favor if I didn't talk about the importance of writing content or building content, I should say, to attract people back to you. Right? A lot of people are going to talk about other things that are kind of like quick wins, but those things kind of just die out. Your content, to some extent, it lives forever, right? People are going to continue to be searching it. People are going to continue to be coming back to you. So there are things that you can do in this marketing game that's going to give you some short-term wins. But at the same time, you want to look at the long-term thing because it is a long-term game. So from a long-term standpoint, if you want to win from a long-term standpoint, this is definitely a strategy that you want to employ. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm using this new device, and I have no idea if it's effective and if it's doing the job that it's supposed to. And so hopefully it's doing a job that it's supposed to. Hey, that is my time. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you soon. And hey, if you have any questions, any specific questions, post it here in this group. One of the things I want to see in this group is a little bit more engagement. So as it relates to this specific audio, or this specific Facebook Live that I did, if I went over something that was over your head or that wasn't really clear to you, the purpose of me going live and of me doing these videos is for me to try to answer questions that's going to help you as members of this group. But guess what? Maybe I'm not hitting the mark. If I'm not hitting the mark, if there's additional things that you have questions on, or if I'm not hitting it on the money, let me know, please, because then I can go ahead and respond, and I can go ahead and just continue to to elaborate on something that may have not made a lot of sense, or there's something that may need a little bit more clarity or clarification. That is my time. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Do you want to track leads as soon as possible? Be sure to go to my website at vladimirdarnes.com and download your free lead magnet how-to video. It's a step-by-step video that will teach you how to generate and create a lead magnet to attract leads as soon as possible and start making sales. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast and subscribe as soon as possible. Thanks for listening.